Hi everybody, it's Az here from HeelvsBabyface on the PTR for patch 7.1. And on the PTR there seem to be what I would call some significant changes to the zone of Suramar, the vast majority of them being in Suramar city itself. So in this video I'm going to show you all the changes which I've managed to discover so far. There might be the odd one or two potentially missing, of course, or, because it is PTR, things can change. And because I am, there's going to be spoilers, obviously. That's why I've got a picture of a tree. So if you don't want to be spoiled, leave the video now. Otherwise, let's get cracking. So before we go out into Suramar itself, let's check up on our intrepid trio of NPCs in Shalaran. Now this, believe it or not, is Chief Telemancer Okoloth. Now remember, at the end of 7.0 story, they all ate the purified mana fruit from the tree, which cured them of their withered state and has returned them now to all their glory. So he's looking pretty dapper in his outfit and a little book on the side. And speaking of dapper, I am 100% in love with these shoulders. I actually tweeted a picture out of them a few weeks ago on Twitter when I found them on an NPC in Suramar. I just think they're absolutely gorgeous. If they were given off as cloth items, then I might actually have to go back to my Warlock. And this is Arcanist Valtros. And then finally, we have first Arcanist. She outranks Valtros, of course. Thalisra. And Thalisra will be spearheading this bunch of rebels. Again, look at that weapon. That staff looks awesome. Although probably should have put some sensible shoes on. Now, before we go back outside to the world, there are a couple of changes which you're going to see inside your base of operations. And they come in the form of the teleporters, because you'll notice that the teleporter to the waning Crescent has now vanished. Now I can say that that will be replaced with another location. We'll get onto this shortly. And there's also a brand spanking new teleportation pad, which I haven't accessed yet on 7.0, so we'll have to see where that goes in the future. And speaking of the waning Crescent, oh dear me, there seems to be some nasty goings on here, and you can tell now why the teleporter isn't working. It done broke. It's currently looking like a Saturday night in Newcastle. Or if you're not from Great Britain, don't quite understand that reference, just think of it as Detroit. At any time of the day or night. Yeah, this place is absolutely screwed. The Legion are patrolling the streets and they're even shouting to the residents that if they want to live, stay the chuff inside your houses. Otherwise, you're going to get what you see on the streets here. Burning corpses of the Nightborn and Suramar citizens. It's a pretty grisly sight indeed, but it really does lend for some pretty awesome storytelling, which is where we're going to go next, and we're going to head off to the harbour, because speaking of atrocities to the Suramar citizens, by gum, take a look at this. I mean, just think about it. In patch 7.0, we were coming here and burning down their pleasure boats. Now, the poor bastards are being shackled up and ferried off to another location, which I'll tell you shortly. But let's face it, it ain't for a holiday. It's not going to be particularly good. And we do see some rather unnerving sights, so like groups of prisoners being dragged away, or some cornered by demons in an area, all scared and getting whipped and all that kind of stuff. It's quite close to the bone with what's going on with humanity nowadays. So yeah, it's something that if you're not affected by this, then probably something wrong with you. Now let's go back to that location, because they're all being shipped off to Fell Soul Hold. Now this footage was actually captured from Azuna, because the changes to Fell Soul Hold are actually in the most southwesterly corner of Suramar itself. Yes, they've actually started to convert the shoreline into a makeshift prison, where they're shipping the Suramar citizens to, and again, it makes for a pretty bleak watch here, as you can see them all chained and shackled, There is a bit of storyline here, won't go in too much depth about it all. But look at those, just prison cells, just one on top of each other. Not good at all. And they're all been brought here to fuel the Soul Engine. Whatever that may be. We'll find out eventually, I'm sure. So it's all looking pretty dour so far for us, but let's turn those frowns upside down, because you see outside the front gates of Suramar City, there is a massive congregation of people, even some Kirin Tor protectors as well. And all those Suramar Nightborn that you can see out front are rebels ready to fight. And either side of the road, we have a Horde encampment and we have an Alliance encampment. So it looks like we are ready to actually wage war in Suramar City itself. The Horde encampment looking pretty darn cool. Lady Liadrin is here. There's a nice blood crystal for them to siphon off all their energies and shit. And then if we go across to Tyrande, she's brought a tent. God bless her. She never was the sharpest tool in the kit, was she? So yeah, the Alliance have brought a tent to fight with. Fingers crossed their encampment might get a little bit more exotic as time moves on. But never mind about all of that, gubbins, because just inside the front gates of Suramar, there actually has been some advancement by the Kirin Tor Horde Alliance Suramar rebels. You can see this big guardian blocking off one of the areas, and in actual fact, we've taken quite a large proportion of the upper promenade area, and it will go all the way through the bridge going into the Night Hold, which you'll see shortly. And now there are some areas where they're literally just facing off on the other side of this pond. We've got some Fellsworn, but here on the left you can see the Kirin Tor Guard, and then the Suramar Rebel is getting prepared to fight. But there are pockets of literal fighting have broken out in this area as well. Pretty darn sure that there's going to be questing elements attached to this, although I haven't come across any just yet. At the very least, world questing elements. And then, if we push down further on the bridge, we'll see that the Kirin Tor have absolute, complete control of it, going all the way through to the Night Hold, which of course is pretty exciting because the Night Hold is going to be the third raid in Legion. So there we go. They are the substantial changes which I've seen to Suramar so far. It's early doors on the 7.1 PTR, so things are subject to change, but it is getting pretty interesting right now. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. And I hope you enjoyed the vid. If you did, do give it a thumbs up and also subscribe to my channel. Follow me on social media and Twitch for live streaming. Links, they're in the description down below. And I'll be back with some more stuff very soon. You take care, everybody. Bye-bye.